Alright, man, so the race for the 8th seed is heating up. I mean, the race to get swept by the Lakers is heating up. No, I'm just playing. But welcome back, y'all, to Just the Facts. My name is Jimmy, and today we're about to talk about, of course, the 8th seed race. It's about halfway through the seeding games, and now would be a perfect time to talk about these teams. So let's get into it. I'm gonna give a quick rundown of the whole race right now. I'm gonna tell y'all who I think is gonna get in. I'm gonna tell y'all who I think is going to give the Lakers the best series, and I'm gonna tell y'all which matchup I would like to see the most, in the first round. But let's get into it. First team, man, the Grizzlies. They're still the 8th seed right now. That's, I guess, a good thing. But they are 0-4 right now. Just lost their second best player, Jaren Jackson Jr., who I just made a video on. So sad, man. Speedy recovery to him, but man, those games were pretty winnable for the Grizzlies for the most part. At least 3 out of those 4 games, right? And guess what? Their next 4 games are looking like they're playing OKC, they're playing Toronto, they're playing Boston, and they're playing Milwaukee. So the Grizzlies can easily go 0-8 in the seeding games and fall completely out of the playoff picture. It's completely sad, man. They've had a real surprising season, and for them to potentially go out that way is going to be tough. But I mean, that's just what it is, man. But the next team is the Portland Trail Blazers, who the Grizzlies could have beaten in the first game. They couldn't. Portland is 3-1 in the bubble now. Dame is going absolutely nuts once again, and for the most part. And Blazers probably have the best opportunity to get in. Obviously, they have the best player out of all these teams, out of these jumble of teams right here, these 6 teams. But they play the Nuggets, Clippers, they play Philly, they play Dallas, and they play the Nets. So their schedule is pretty tough as well, but more winnable than the Grizzlies, and they're better than the Grizzlies. So having Nurkic back is huge. Nurkic has been absolutely killing it in the seeding game so far. Portland obviously has the most talent out of all these teams. Now, the next team, the most surprising team probably has been the Suns. The Suns are 3-0 in the bubble right now, and I mean, Devin Booker's game winner versus the Clippers was ridiculous, man. And it'd be so great to see Devin Booker in the playoffs, man. Him in meaningful games right now, man, and he's taking advantage of it so far, right? This is the first time Devin Booker's really had meaningful games, to be honest with you, and he's delivering so far. And if he were to make the playoffs, just imagine what he could do then, Obviously the Suns aren't going anywhere, but just to see him perform in meaningful big games, it's going to be something to see potentially. They also have a pretty tough schedule as they play the Pacers, Heat, Philly, OKC, and Dallas. That's going to be real tough too. That's right up there with the Grizzlies actually, for one of the hardest schedules remaining. And I don't think they're going to make it. Now, the team that kind of crept up on everyone was the Spurs. Losing LaMarcus Aldridge, everyone was like, okay, Spurs might as well go home, right? I mean, they're 2-2 in the bubble, but they still have a very good chance. I mean, all these teams have a very good chance still. That's why I'm making this video. Doing the Spurs thing, man, they don't want that streak to end, man. Pop does not want that. It's 20. How long is it? 21 years? Crazy, man. That's longer than I was born, man. Will it end? I'm still 50-50 about that. We'll still get into it. They play Pelicans. They play the Pelicans. They play the Jazz twice. They play Houston. So those are winnable games. But I think they're gonna split with Utah. They will most likely lose to Houston, and I think they'll beat the Pelicans. So speaking of the Pelicans, they're 1-2, but they do have the easiest remaining schedule, and everyone's gonna be like, oh well, the NBA just wants to see LeBron versus Zion in the playoffs. You know what I mean? And yeah, they do, but the Pelicans already had the easiest remaining schedule left before the whole stoppage and everything. So they play the Magic, they play the Wizards, they play Sacramento twice, and they play the Spurs. So I mean, that's very, very winnable for the Pelicans, man. And they've disappointed so far, but I expect them to turn it around, and they're gonna be right there, man. I feel like most of these teams are just gonna be right there, man. It's just gonna come down to the last possible second, of the regular season. And the team I wasn't gonna put on here, but I had to because they're really still in the mix. They're only a game out behind Portland. So it's the Kings, man. They're 0-3 right now, but like I said, they're still only a game back of Portland, for that 9th spot. And 2 games, I believe. I'm sorry, they're 2 games behind Portland, and 3 games behind Memphis. So they're technically still in it. You know what I mean? Like I said, I think Memphis is just gonna get worse and worse and worse as time goes on, and the Kings got to start winning now. They're about to play right now. They actually play the Pelicans here in a little bit. They play Pelicans another time after this, so they have to play Pelicans twice. They play the Nets, they play the Rockets, and they play the Lakers. So maybe they can split those last 5 games there. Well, not split, but win 3 at least of those 5 games and see where they can go from there, man. As for who I think will get in, man, I will see. This was hard. I'm still debating right now, but if I had to pick a team right now, I'd probably go with the Blazers right now. And why? Because they don't have the easy schedule, but they have the best players. They have Dame. They have CJ. You know what I mean? They have Nurkic. Portland wasn't even supposed to be down here, honestly. Portland's really a 6th seed, 5th seed in disguise, you know. But Nurkic injury, Rodney Hood injury, Zach Collins injury, and if there's anyone that can make a push, it would be Damian Lillard, man. Just if he just goes absolutely nuts for these last 4 games, I feel like there's no way Portland will be out of this playoff race. I'll say the Grizzlies will be out of it, no doubt about it. They won't be the 8th or 9th seed. They'll be completely out of it, in my opinion. And the other 2 teams that I think will challenge Portland are the Spurs and the Pelicans. In which order? I'll say Spurs and then Pelicans. I know the Pelicans have the easy schedule, but they like the experience. Spurs are a little more experienced, and obviously Pop. The whole Zion thing, like, is Zion going to play more than 15 minutes for the rest of these games? Who knows? I don't know what they do with Zion. I don't know, like, he's healthy, so I don't know why he's playing 15 minutes. He should have his conditioning back under control. Who knows why Zion plays 15 minutes? I don't know, but the other game he played 23 minutes, I believe, but still, you never know with the minutes with Zion, and it's going to be a huge game. They do play each other, so, I mean, I feel like whoever wins that game will end up at least being the 9th seed and challenging Portland. There's going to be a play-in tournament, guys, regardless. And who would give the Lakers the best matchup? The Blazers would. Like I said, they're the best team. They have the most star power, and I feel like I know people have went overboard and say, "Oh, the Blazers could beat the Lakers if they get in." No, that's not even close. Okay, they might get a game. They will get a game on the Lakers, maybe 2, potentially 2, because there's no home court advantage. So Portland doesn't have to go on the road, and you know what I mean. If that was the case, they'd probably get swept. But it's all neutral site. I'll say Portland gets a game. Gets 1 game. Dame will just go absolutely nuts for at least a game, and there won't be anything the Lakers could do about it. I know they have Pope, they have Danny Green, they have Caruso on the perimeter for defensive purposes. J.R. Smith is not bad defensively, but they're going to miss Avery Bradley a good amount, and that's just what it is. And I feel like Nurkic is going to have a big game in one of those games as well. Like, I just feel like it's going to happen. And it's bound to happen. As for who would give the Lakers the most problems, it would definitely be the Blazers. The funnest matchup would be the Pelicans. Obviously, LeBron versus Zion, the whole storyline behind it. And just that, not even that storyline, the Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart storyline, you know what I mean, versus AD, the whole trade and everything like that, right? And that's going to be something else to watch too, because, you know, they were just in LA last year and they have something to prove. So, I mean, they're going to go out and try to prove that, and maybe the Pelicans get a game also. But I think the Blazers, if I had to say, like, if there's one team to beat the Lakers, it would be the Blazers. But we all know that's not happening. As for the team I don't want to see, man, is the Spurs, man. The Spurs, it would be a sweep, and it would be pretty bad and boring sweep. The Spurs would just struggle to score, man. I don't know if y'all remember, but in 2018, I believe, the Spurs played the Warriors in the first round, and that was one of the most boringest playoff series I've ever witnessed, bro. Because, you know, like, there's always those teams that get swept, right? But it's kind of fun, you know what I mean? It's kind of enjoyable to watch. It's entertaining. But with the Spurs, it's just like their play style is so vanilla. It's so fundamental. It's so cookie cutter. You know what I mean? It's just so bland, and I just want to see. I mean, obviously they're a little more exciting than they used to be, but they're still not really exciting to watch. So, and they will struggle to score. They will struggle to score. So, um, that would be Lakers in 4 and a pretty boring and forgettable series. So I wouldn't want to see the Spurs. But other than that, man, that's gonna wrap up this little 8 seed recap. Give y'all a little recap. I think the Grizzlies will be completely out of it. I think the Blazers will get 8 seed. I think the Spurs will get 9 seed. I think the Pelicans. I feel like the Pelicans and Spurs are interchangeable. For whatever. But Blazers 8, and then Spurs and Pelicans are the next two teams. Um, the team who will give the Lakers the most trouble, the Blazers. The team who I think will provide the most entertaining series is the Pelican series. And the team who I don't want to see at all is the Spurs. All right. And I'm going to leave it at that, man. But sure y'all like, comment, share, subscribe, man. And I'm out. Peace.